Trinity is imprisoned, not physically, but within a series of haunting visions. These visions plunge her into the tragic past, specifically the era of Kaelen, the Wolf Alpha, and Seraphina, the Warlock Healer. Their forbidden love, a beacon of hope for peace, was brutally extinguished by the power-hungry warlock Magnus. Why is she being shown these specific memories? What is the connection between her, Kaelen, and Seraphina? The warlocks whisper in her mind, claiming she belongs with them, not Reece. What do they know about her past that she doesn't? She is one of us. We can't have history repeating itself. Warlock Reece ordered to Warlock Amida. Her alpha must not find her, at any cost, he said, grinding his teeth. Yes, my lord, it won't happen. We have broken their connection through their mate mark. There's no way he can find her. Amida replied. Reece took a deep breath and muttered, "This is our chance to show those wolves what the Shadow Circle is all about. They must suffer for the deeds of the past, and suffer they will." Reece laughed, his voice echoing through space.
Trinity, who is held captive in an adjacent room, hears this conversation and wonders who or what the Shadow Circle is. And why is she a part of all this? Ah, I remember. Aunt Eve mentioned the Shadow Circle once in her stories, she muttered to herself. Is it for real? The circle? She wondered. Reece, please come and save me. I feel helpless, she cried. As she dozed off to sleep again, tired and hungry. Her memories this time took her to the story Aunt Eve told about the Shadow Circle. The warlocks once had a homeland, a shining city hidden deep within the heart of the Blackthorn Forest. Luxaria, they called it, the city of eternal light. It was a place where magic flowed freely, where great towers of crystal and obsidian pierced the skies, and the air hummed with the power of countless incantations. Luxaria was not just the seat of warlock power, it was a sanctuary, a symbol of their unity. But like all things touched by ambition and pride, it was destined to fall. Luxaria's golden age began under the rule of Arendor, the first warlock king. Unlike his descendant, Kaelus, Arendor was a benevolent leader who believed in the balance between magic and nature. He forged alliances with the werewolf packs, the Fey courts, and even the human kingdoms. For a time, the supernatural world thrived in harmony. But power breeds envy, and among the warlocks themselves, there were whispers of discontent. Some believed Arendor's diplomacy was a sign of weakness, that he had squandered their potential for greatness. These whispers would grow into a rebellion that would forever change the course of history. The seeds of Luxaria's downfall were sown by a warlock named Malachar, a brilliant but ruthless sorcerer who had once been one of Arendor's closest advisors. Malachar was a visionary, much like Kaelus would be centuries later. He saw Luxaria not as a sanctuary, but as a throne from which the warlocks could rule the world. Under Malachar's influence, a faction of warlocks known as the Shadow Circle emerged. They believed the alliances Arendor had forged were chains that bound them to lesser beings. The wolves, in particular, were a source of scorn for the Shadow Circle. To them, the wolves were little more than beasts, undeserving of the warlocks' respect. The Shadow Circle began to undermine Arendor's rule in secret, using their magic to manipulate events and sow discord among the other races. The tipping point came during the Festival of Lumina, an annual celebration of Luxaria's founding. Leaders from all the supernatural factions were invited to the city, including the Alpha of the Moonfire Pack, a young wolf named Kieran. During the festival, Malachar orchestrated a devastating attack. Using forbidden blood magic, the Shadow Circle unleashed a horde of shadow beasts, monstrous creatures born of pure darkness. The beasts tore through the festival, killing indiscriminately. The Alpha of the Moonfire Pack and his closest warriors were among the first to fall. Luxaria, once a beacon of unity, became a battlefield. Arendor faced Malachar in a climactic duel in the Great Hall of the Arcane Spire, Luxaria's most sacred site. Their battle shook the city to its foundations, magic tearing through stone and crystal. "You've doomed us all, Malachar," Arendor shouted, his voice filled with both fury and sorrow. "No, I've freed us," Malachar retorted, his eyes blazing with dark power. "You were too weak to see the truth, Arendor. The warlocks are meant to rule, not grovel before wolves." Their clash ended with Arendor's victory, but at a terrible cost. Malakar's final spell unleashed a wave of destructive energy that shattered the arcane spire and sent shockwaves through Luxaria. The city began to collapse. The fall of Luxaria marked the beginning of the Second Blood feud. The wolves, enraged by the betrayal and the loss of their alpha, declared war on the warlocks. But the Shadow Circle did not die with Malakar. The seeds of his ambition lived on, passed down through generations of warlocks who believed in his vision. And in the present day, those seeds are beginning to sprout once more. As Trinity, in her dreams, recounts the tale of Luxaria's fall, she couldn't help but feel a strange connection to the story. What happened to the Shadow Circle? Trinity wondered, her voice barely above a whisper. Trinity shivered, the weight of the story pressing down on her. She didn't know why, but she felt as if the warlock's history was more than just a distant tale. It felt personal. Deep in her heart, a question began to form. A question she wasn't ready to face. Could the blood of Luxaria flow through her veins? Meanwhile, Reece desperately searches for Trinity, unaware of the metaphysical prison holding her captive. Will he reach her in time? Or will the warlocks succeed in claiming her for their own, whatever that means? And as the visions intensify, one question looms largest of all. Is Trinity truly what she believes herself to be?
Hey, I am Trinity. Want to know what happens next? Then click the link in the description below and download the Pocket FM app and listen to the exciting episodes of Chosen by Fate, Rejected by the Alpha.